So we have an exciting last speaker who is not on the list, but has appeared. So I would like to welcome up Kelly McClean. Kelly is an independent contractor and researcher who has been working on MB's bioeconomy workstream and recently, as part of a recently announced project, the Common Ground Future of Fibre Aotearoa pilot. So Kelly, do you want to come up? There's no slides, but Kelly's just got a riff for us. Welcome.
Kia ora, I'm Kelly. Yes, so I've got a bit of riffing. So I think by way of background, and thank you, I think that was pretty good. So there's two projects I'd like to just quickly touch on, but there's probably four things if I can sort of get that in your mind after this 5 minutes. So I've got a pretty diverse background. I'm from Massey originally, so textiles is what I studied, not fine arts, but I have ended up getting into sustainability and measurement over the past 12 years through life cycle assessment and then later on through sustainability projects that have been quite complex. So the kinds of sectors I've worked in have been the film industry, fast-moving consumer goods, packaging, textiles, manufacturing, built environment, and then more recently policy. And where I really love to understand a bit more is around that consumer and business kind of change piece. So I'm sort of one of those people that sit between different fields, and I'm a connector or like a bridge sometimes between different ideas, because you can kind of bring experience from other sectors into new spaces, and they have a whole different impact. So I just wanted to spotlight a few things. So sometimes people are like, oh, what is the government doing on circular economy? Well, there was an amazing work program that was led by their strategy team that was around building their circular economy strategy. And all of that amazing sort of reports and research is actually available online now. So even though they discontinued doing that work about 2 years ago, you can actually find some of the reports that they were working on up to that point. And one particular project that I worked on and led was the manufacturing piece. So one thing that was amazing through that process was the importance of place. So what we could see when we were mapping out where all the different manufacturing activities were happening in the motu were clusters of activities happening in different parts. And so from a circular economy perspective, it's really, really important to understand those materials and flows that are coming through the different activities. And we started to see that actually, yes, place does matter. And what we looked at was potentially what kinds of waste streams were coming out of those activities, and then also the types of emissions and levels of emissions potentially as well, and energy requirements. So that was at a national level, but I think just a takeaway from that is the importance of place. It's all available online. Another thing I wanted to flag was this idea of circular economy and creativity being able to come together through different opportunities, and how important it is to collaborate. So earlier in the year when I was working on a project with the ACT government over in Canberra, we looked at the establishment of a textile hub in place, and the people that we had in the room were community groups that were creating crafts and art from textiles, but recyclers, we had designers, and we had all the logistics people sort of in one place trying to solve this challenge. And so what that kind of taught me was like, it's incredibly amazing being able to work through that whole value chain and its complexity, and being able to actually get that consensus around what waste might actually mean, because what came out of that was actually that we needed to value our textiles more. And so some of the conversations shifted. And then just finally, future of fibre Aotearoa. So AgMart's just announced about a week ago, so you can go onto the Common Ground website, and there's a bit of a sort of overview of the program. But it's a 2-year piece of work that will be a community of action, being able to explore what the fibre ecosystem in New Zealand is doing right now, where it can go, recognising that food and fibre is very different. So you've got on one hand a consumer product that's sort of going through quite a short life cycle, And then with fibre, it's a very durable life cycle. It's longer. Design's incredibly important in the product that comes out of it. And the R&D is very different as well. So wanting to be able to, I'll use that word, bridge again, bridge, connect, wool, harakeke, hemp, mycelium, fermented fibres that's sort of in the lab. We think that there's a really amazing story to be told in that space, and wouldn't it be nice if circular and regenerative practices were embedded right at the foundation of those conversations and not just a side project. So that's what that's all about. The first year is around foundational mapping, ecosystem understanding, being able to go and say, hey, look, this is what we've found, this is how big the sector is, this is some opportunities. I have no doubt that circular opportunities will be part of that story. And then the second year is around pilots and turning that stuff into action. And the way that we would win for that particular project is if industry and academia and researchers can come together and progress things that they've been wanting to do for a while, but maybe haven't had those opportunities to meet. So I just think, I guess my research question is, how can we work better together? How can we not be competitive, or like, what does the pre-competitive space look like? How can we actually move New Zealand Inc. across as well? And yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you. Yes, we have time for 1 to 2 questions, depending on how long they are. Anyone got anything? This is prompted. Kelly? No, nothing? People are thinking about afternoon tea? Ah, yes.
Have you got any ideas so far on how we dial down the competitiveness and work together?
So far, it's been actually removing that funding piece that was sort of discussed. Yeah, so like when people kind of know, hey, look, this is the expectations of like a third space, almost like that. You're walking into a cafe, you can kind of meet, oh, actually, this is kind of like a third space. You know, it's okay to meet people and have those conversations, rather than transacting, sort of like, they're meeting me just so they can get some kind of thing across the line. And what I've found is that when you start to talk and open up those conversations, you find out what people are doing, and then all of a sudden you see over here, oh, they're looking for that thing, they need to talk. But otherwise, sometimes people are quite suspicious, so trust is a really big part. Yeah, and we've been able to sort of get people on board from across the whole value chain, which has been incredible, and it's been quite a big process over the last 3 to 4 months to sort of get that going. Yeah. But talking, being able to meet. Yeah.
And someone who has the relational skills to broker that, right?
The
Like
brokers,
yourself.
well, you've got to be positive as well, because actually there's a lot of negativity in the space, but I just see all the opportunities because so many people are doing amazing things, but they don't know about it, and there's not really a forum to share it. So, I think at the very least in the next year, people will know more about what's happening.